went over your statement with Sergeant Walters, but I do need a little more clarification on some of your answers.
I don't see how I can be of help, but I'll try.
How long have you worked as a babysitter for the Cullen family?
Over 2 years, I think. They seemed really nice at first. Always paid me well and were quite flexible with my schedule.
Did you notice anything strange while in their employment?
What do you mean?
Did Jim and Sarah Cullen ever have altercations?
Sometimes, I guess. Nothing violent, though. But some nights I could hear some raised voices coming through the wall.
This short was...
What were they arguing about?
So simple, yet so, elegantly done. The cinematography was beautiful. The actors did an amazing job telling this story. And it kept me involved the entire time. The tension only kept building and building and building. And it just... This team did an amazing job. I love the direction that the director took it was so well, because you see this type of detective interviewing suspected murder all the time, but this really was something I've never really seen before in that world, and it was great.
It was really simple. It was gripping right away from the knock on the door. You want to know what's going on, and the way that they're able to set up the story, there's it's gripping right away from the part where she gets a knock on the door. And I think what it did really well, where it's easy to mess up, is it doesn't hit you over the head with anything. Even though it's told in retrospect, or retroactively, I think it would be the word for it. And you don't need to see any of what happened before. It's laid out really well, and there's not too much unnecessary detail, but it's still not just handed to you. I thought it was really good. It was really smart. Even though it was a short film, it was her talking to the detective. It wasn't too it wasn't too much of a reach for something that would be shocking, and it was clear it wasn't just for shock value, but it was just a really smart way to tell this story, and it was concise, but it still had a lot of creative elements in the writing to make it just thoroughly entertaining. And for 5 minutes it had a full story arc, and the acting was really good. Her acting was, she really sold it. Her crying was convincing. You can tell she cared about the kid. I don't know. I thought it was a really great film. It was smart, and that's all. It was good.
Well-written short. A babysitter is interrogated by a detective about a double murder of the parents of the boy she minded. Incredible performances by the two leads. The babysitter was very believable in trying to protect the boy, and the detective was kind and able to bring the truth out of her. I like the subtle, somber piano music below the two-hander scene in her convincingly styled dining room. This story is sadly believable that a selfish couple could harm a child like this, and a child could be very resentful. I would love to see how this story plays out in a feature film. Excellent, well-conceived short.
I am a sucker for procedurals, so Transgressions was right up my alley. I love the twist, but I found it fun to watch, and it was really well written. You really got the anxiety of this interaction very well, and it was just very well done. I really enjoyed it.
So much to unpack there. It is the power, really, of a story that doesn't need multiple settings or special effects or even a huge cast to tell something that is invigorating and complex and deeply rooted in human emotion and, in some cases, depravity. We are instantly hooked as to why the policeman is there, what exactly the context of what is going on, and the way the information slowly unfolds and is given to us throughout the scene really is well done. It allows us to stay engaged by giving us just enough, but also eagerly waiting for what comes next. And it is the type of film in which no one can fully win at the end because such a tragedy has occurred. But it is a tragedy that we certainly hear about plenty in reality, and allows us to think about those cases and what we would feel if we were involved in them. Great.
This is the kind of story that you hear about on the news and you say, I couldn't imagine that happening. why would that happen? And this was a nice little meditation on maybe the whys and the who's involved and how you deal with the aftermath of that in a way. I thought it was a really surprising story. It was also excellently acted, fully believable and grounded, which I think is ultimately very necessary for a piece like this. So it doesn't go sensationalized or soap opera. It just felt, very grounded in the reality. And I was wondering, what's going to happen next?
It's a really good job on this piece. I like that we have just two characters in one location, but we get a whole story presented to us. And the whole story has got a setup. It's leading us one way, and then there's a twist at the end that subverts our expectations. At first we think that this lady being questioned here is, just like a victim, and that she, had to find these dead people. It's interesting to see that in this actress, the release when she's discovered that, what she goes through emotionally. Is just very believable and very good. So both actors did a great job. But the detective and the young lady, they were very well cast. They did a great job, and it was photographed well. It was paced well with the editing, good script, good score. So I'd be interested to see what happens afterwards. What's in the aftermath of this. So that's good because it's leaving me wanting more. But great job on this film.